This is one of a series of videos I'm doing about crimes against humanity, because these crimes against humanity have caused so much devastation and all the other atrocities that have been happening to ordinary British children and young people and parents and veterans. They're just too distressing to think about. Now, one of the things that the government have done, the propaganda machine, has been absolutely astounding. They learned a lot from the original propaganda. I want to tell you about concentric circles of responsibility. Now, when a baby is born, very quickly they learn if they're hungry and they take responsibility for being hungry, they will cry. They will soon realise that if you cry, you get fed. And as they grow older, they soon learn to interact with usually the parents. They learn that if they look at the parents and smile, and as soon as they can make them out and react to them, then the parents will react to them. They realise that they have a reaction, they have an influence over the parents. And that's the first time they ever learn to be accountable, or they ever learn that they have an effect on others. Round about the age of 4, they learn empathy. And it might be younger in some children, I don't know. But that's what the experts say, that it's round about the age of 4 when we learn empathy for other people. We realise that other people have emotions similar to ours, and we have an influence over those emotions. And so we begin to take a little bit of accountability for our behaviour in the hope that we can influence other people's mood and their frame of mind, or however their feelings might be. And so we do accept that responsibility and try to influence other people in a positive way. It's a kind of a nice thought really to have, that these little children are hoping to make their friends and family, siblings happy. And that's the most delightful thought. It's probably the most delightful thing to remember about children, that they're trying to make other people smile and be happy and please and impress people. And it's usually about the time when children learn to sing, which obviously interests me, but this is something that always breaks my heart to watch them, hoping to make people hear a pleasurable song. That's something that's beautiful. And as they get older, they make friends, they tell jokes, they interact with others, they join in sports and activities, and they talk to each other, and it becomes a cultural thing where we learn other people's moods and other people's frame of minds, and the way they interact with us depends on how we interact with them. And that's how children learn to be accountable for their behaviour. Now, as we mature and grow older, when we start work, for example, we begin to take a little bit more accountability for the running of wherever it is we're working at, and the people around us, for our work colleagues and for our employers and such. We want to have a good influence on them, and we take accountability for how they react to us. So what the government are doing, they're playing a manipulative game where they've manoeuvred us into believing that we are somehow accountable for other people's problems. People call you racist because their feelings of inadequacy, not because you're particularly gifted or particularly privileged. It's because you've been taught as a child to take accountability for your behaviour. And the outcomes that happen to you can influence those outcomes by studying hard, by behaving properly, by doing something, practicing, rehearsing. Whatever it is you want to do, that's in your control, and that's in your realm of responsibility. That is within your circle of responsibility. And anybody who couldn't be bothered and wasted their time doing something else, that's not you. You're not responsible for that. So don't be feeling guilty. If somebody doesn't get a job, it's not your problem. And if anything happens to people abroad, I know it's tragic and it's sad and it's heartbreaking, but it's not our responsibility. The people accountable for causing these problems, starvation and everything else, they should be held accountable. It's their responsibility, their circle of responsibility. It's not yours. If they can't be bothered, why should you? Learn to stick within your own circle of responsibility. There's an old thing we used to say, an acronym we used to use, nmfp, not my problem. So remember that. I know it sounds harsh, but you have to draw the line somewhere. You need a boundary. You can't take on the entire world. You're not the Messiah. Thank you very much for listening to the end. I wish you all well. Thank you.